Francis is going to give you a chance to respond. I'm going to ask you the next question.
I've always tell you, your only chance is in the ring, in the boxing ring with the boxing rules. When you step off of that ring, you better stay 5 meters away before I stuck your shit. Because if I lose it, you're going to have a really bad time, my friend. So respect the fact that boxing is protecting us, and the rules of boxing is protecting us. Because out of that, without that, you are nothing in front of me. I beat you every day, twice on Sunday.
This is the way this week has started for this amazing hump day in boxing, and I'm going to get into some serious stuff. First, we're going to get into Ryan Garcia. As you can see going across the bottom of the screen, Ryan Garcia is off on several different type tangents, but he has some legitimacy behind what's going on in his life, and you guys are going to hear it. The next thing that we're going to get into is Bill Haney, who's going out here and throwing shade back and forth with Adrian Broner. So Broner is putting his name in the hat for the next fight. So, but for those of you who have not seen that, I have to do this only in the subscriber pub because this is absolute rated X, the way that they're going at it. The language is just too foul for me to put directly into regular social media. So I'm going to only put this in the subscriber hub. And it's just, I can't put this out here. It's just as rough as it gets. It's worse than that. So with that being said, I'm going to let you guys know a little bit about what's going on in the world of boxing. The entire world in the sport of boxing right now is on an absolute 10. All the fights are being made. All of the fighters are fighting. They're constant. It's basically taking on the business model of the UFC. So Dana White took what boxing wasn't doing and he started doing that. Now boxing's taking back that same game plan and giving it back to the sport. And it's being absolutely lights out in the sport of boxing. And with the crossover MMA, it's almost just like total combat. But when you listen to this, this is Ryan Garcia putting out his wish list or what he's going to be committed to doing leading into this fight, so this fight does not get canceled. So take a listen. This is Ryan Garcia letting you guys know what the deal is.
Come on, come closer. We got Ryan's non-negotiable list for camp. Number 1, train 6 days a week. Number 2, 1 form of recovery every day. Number 3, no smoking at all and no edibles. Number 4, drinking wine only.
I don't even take edibles though.
3 glasses on Wednesday. 4 glasses on Sunday. And remember, this is like
non-negotiable. I know.
But you don't have to do it. Just because it's there, don't mean you have to do it.
Right. Maybe I decide I won't do it.
Exactly. Number 5, strict diet. No eating out, no fried stuff like that. 6, sleep. Number 7, Bible study. Number 8, love everyone. Number 9, your daily meditations. Number 10, everyone in camp must abide by this list. Number 11, accountability partners. And number 12, the best one, knock Devin Haney the fuck out, baby.
Let's go.
All right, RG. Once you sign, hey, hold on, let me write right up top.
Non-negotiables. Okay, come on, bro. Let me just sign it. I know what it means. I know what non-negotiable means.
No, Mo, I'm putting it there. Sign it right here, RG. This is a contract right here.
Can I write the line?
On the Bible.
Oh man, okay. This is powerful.
This is powerful. This is for sure.
No, it's signed. It's done.
Let's go.
What did I just do?
We're locked in. We're locked in, brother.
We're locked in. Let's get back to work.
That's round 1. And so there's a little bit more coming of Ryan Garcia, but you can see right now, he's letting you guys know, no matter what's going on, he's going to be training. And when you look about this, think about this in the sport of boxing, a fight is as only good as the promotion. Because on fight night, you're going to get what you've seen already. There's nothing new going to happen inside of that boxing ring. But one thing that's going to happen differently outside of this is the promotion. And when you see the next video clip of Ryan Garcia, this is something that you will never see coming. And very few people have seen it. It's actually going viral constantly right now as we're talking. But the reality is this. This is more than a promotion this time. This is shedding light on something that's actually going on in the world. And, you know, I can't co-sign on anything that I have not witnessed with my own 2 eyes. But if you've been paying attention over on Twitter, and Instagram, Ryan Garcia has been putting out statements and things of that nature that there's a lot more going on that's behind these closed curtains. And what he's doing is he's basically shedding light on situations that could really have his life in danger. So it's nothing to joke about, but I'm going to play this in a couple of minutes and letting you guys know. But before I do that, I'm going to let you, everyone who's checking in now, please let me know exactly where you're watching from on the planet. And I like to introduce myself. I'm Eric A. Bradley, coach, that is, and we teach boxing. I've done it for 4 decades. I'm currently a professor in the sport. I basically write content and how-to books, and basically we have an online educational platform that we help coaches and fighters with the right direction and teaching them the right fundamentals and advanced levels as they progress from amateurs to professional rankings. That's what we do over here at Master Boxing LLC. And what we focus on is making sure everybody has the right opportunity. And our sponsor is Jab Juice Consultants, with those same individuals who need to understand how to gain leverage in the sport and how to take what they're doing to another level, move it 30% up. That needle needs to move whenever you're in a combat sport, whether you're a trainer, whether you're a business owner, a gym owner, or a fighter. You need to have leverage in your brand. It's the exact same thing that Ryan Garcia is doing. He's built his brand. He's got control. He gets leverage. And what that does is it allows you to be on those main event cards, and it allows you to have control over your fighting career. So that's exactly what you find over at Jab Juice Consulting. So jabjuice.com. Check them out if you're in a position where you want leverage in your career and you want to build your own personal brand up. That's where you go. Jabjuice.com. So back to the topic at hand. Here's the deal. Ryan Garcia, and I'm going to let you guys hear this. And for those of you who are chiming in, all of you who have just tuned in, I said that there's a very, very, very verbal confrontation that go on between Bill Haney and Adrian Broner, who's now trying to submerge himself in the middle of this fight just in case the Ryan Garcia doesn't jump off. He's going to put himself in the playing cards and try to get him a piece of the pies. But what you're finding is this is getting a lot tacky. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to let you guys hear just a couple of seconds of how this all started. And it had a lot to do with the Devin Haney tank tape that, of course, Adrian Broner was right there in the ring. So I'm going to give you guys, and if you're under the age of 18, please, please step away from the computer screen or put it on mute. I don't want you guys to take part in hearing this kind of verbality, but it is very, very vulgar. So you've been warned. And the rest of this will be played Instagram subscriptions.
Respect for a long time. You got in my business with that sparring shit, and you know you wasn't supposed to get in my business because I was betting against your daddy.
Man, I'm not worrying about that.
Wait, hold on,
I
King.
just told what I seen.
You ain't supposed to get in my business,
I ain't
nigga.
in your
What
business,
you
nigga. I
talking
just
about?
told what I seen.
What you mean? You told what you seen. You didn't tell that I told him to get your ass up out of there.
Man, I don't want to hear that shit, nigga.
What you mean you don't?
Okay. So that's kind of just the beginning. It only gets worse, and it gets worse, and it gets worse, and it got worse. And it is absolutely crazy. So that you can only hear that in the subscriber portal, and that's basically going to be an educational tool, not to listen to for entertainment. But one thing again, this is all about knowing exactly what to do to build something up. But this got personal. This got very personal, and they crossed the line. When it's one thing if you one-on-one and you in a room and you guys know you got something to handle. It's another thing when you're doing it on live streaming and you're throwing yourself out there. So apologies for those of you who didn't see that coming. I can't control exactly what happened, but I wanted you guys to understand the brevity of this situation when someone like Bill Haney has let's just say a dog in the fight, and he has a voice. He's going to speak on it. And so he and Adrian Broner didn't agree about how that all happened. And they were throwing banter back and forth about disrespect. But that's what goes on in the sport of boxing. I tell you guys, you think you know how to deal with this, but one day you're going to be in a position, and whenever you go up that rank, that somebody's going to do something to you. Now, my first experience in boxing where I got my feathers wrinkled was in the negotiation with Don King. That was one of the first things that happened in our camp that I had no idea that this could possibly happen, where a man grabbed you by the sack and got control over your life like you are a slave, and our fighter couldn't fight because there's this 2-year hold that he was, utilizing over our camp to prevent us from fighting because of this hold. And if you're not fighting for me, you ain't fighting. And that was the first real time that I went home and I couldn't sleep that night, because after being in a position where you're in the high level boxing, and for those of you, I don't even know if I mentioned, I've been in over 40 of these things. I've strategic plan. I've done some live stream film studies right here on social media to let you guys see behind the scenes with Cambosis and a couple of other fighters that was fighting for titles. I kind of let them know that, I know you're feeling yourself, but it's levels to this game, and you are not going in here mentally prepared. I don't take credit for it, but there was a shift in Cambosis's mind. He went into that fight. He took it a little bit different, because I think he was going to take Lopez a lot lighter. And you can watch the video. It's up there. We did a whole film study, boom, boom, right there on the spot. But the thing about it is, I want you young fighters and all of you trainers who think you know this, what's coming. You don't know what's coming. Because if you ain't been there at least 10 times, and I mean literally, it took 10 times. I've been in over 40 fights that straps were on the line. So the experience changes everything. I don't care if you recover it in reporting, journalism, or just hanger owners. You don't understand how this impacts your life physically, mentally, psychologically, and the choices that you make moving forward. And so when you're talking about, you got a fighter, you working with this fighter, and you ain't never even been to the world championship level on any level, when it comes down to straps, millions of dollars, opportunity, legacy, Hall of Fame status, all of that stuff. Man, it's so many other doubles that you're going to face. And when I talk about it, I don't just say it just to say it. I say it to prevent you guys from going through this situation. Hence is one of the main reasons we created Champions University, because there's no way that you know what's coming. I got guys out here who following us. They done been in about 4 or 5 world championship fights, maybe 6 or 7, and it's still gonna change. My first 10, it was like I had never been in one, because every one was so different. And by the time I got to 18, I started to feel my loins. I felt like I belong. I felt like I've been there before. And when you are going up in those levels, you've seen fighters that you like right now, and including, I'm talking like Manny Pacquiao. And hell, we helped Manny for 5 years get it. And being in those kind of fights and being in those kind of matches, what happens? Boom, he gets knocked the F out cold against Marquez in the 4th fight. You always think you know what's coming. You always think you got this dude number. You always think all you needed to do was work on going left a little bit more and staying out of the way of the jab. And then all of a sudden, a weapon comes out of nowhere. Boom, 9, 10, you're out of there. You get what I'm saying? So this is what I mean why you cannot get to this sport and through this sport thinking you know what this sport is all about. Because I learned over the first 15 years that boxing is a sweet science. And it's just, let's preface it, when God works in mysterious ways, boxing is mysterious. and you think you got it, especially for your YouTube PhDers. You think you got it because you got access to 90 boxing channels, but there's a lot more to it. And when you look at Ryan Garcia right here, there are a lot of other things going, and I'm going to share with you about this sport. And what you don't understand about boxing is the guy who wins in boxing is the best liar in the room. And what I mean by best liar in the room is Muhammad Ali wasn't just a great fighter. The only reason he was great is because he was the best liar. He was the best actor. He had the most character. He could switch who he was in the midst of a moment. He could be dazed or he could be going down in the 15th round, get up, pretend like nothing has happened, dust off his pants, and finish getting smoked with Joe Frazier. Y'all don't understand. Boxing ain't nothing but a bunch of character. If you don't have character, you don't stand a chance in boxing because you're going in there straight up and down with no special effect. When you see people who don't have different characters, I'm going to use Errol Spence, and not saying that Errol Spence isn't a great fighter, but Errol Spence comes with one mission. Now, he could show you wrinkles because he did it against Mikey Garcia, but he did not change his character during the midst of a fight. He stays the same guy, maniacal drive, coming forward, beating on you, pounding you. But what happens when the angles change? And we saw that. And so there was no other character in play. And when you don't have another character in play, then the only person in the ring is the same guy. That means the other guy can figure that guy out and bring out a guy that he's developed that you are not familiar with. And this is one of the main reasons I say when we talk about you fighters building your brand in social media, creating content and showing people who you are, Ryan Garcia got character. He got characters. If something ain't working, he can switch into somebody else. If Mr. Magoo ain't working for him, he can turn into Spider-Man. If he ain't Spider-Man ain't working in that boxing ring, then he can turn into Aquaman. If Aquaman ain't working, then he can turn into a Ninja Turtle. The fact of the matter is this: boxing is going to tell the truth about you. So you need to be able to turn into somebody else inside of that boxing ring. And this is the main reason why I tell all of my fighters that I've ever come in contact with as a tactician or someone that's an advisor, you better understand and know how to change your style up in the ring. You better know how to press forward. You better know how to retreat. You better know how to set traps, and you better know how to take laps. Because if you don't, if you bring one character into that ring, you are going to get your ass blown up. And that is boxing in 2024. That is boxing since the beginning of time. Because one of the things that you cannot do is you can't take everybody's punch straight to the face. Another thing that you cannot do is you cannot get away from body shots unless you start learning to adapt and learning the styles of boxing. And it doesn't matter how good your offense is. If you don't know the 5 layers of defense, you can forget about it. And through the course of your career, if you don't understand that there's 12 stages to boxing, you have no effing chance. Stay at home, go to school, become a dentist, because if not, you're going to be in the ring getting your effing teeth knocked out. This is boxing. And 2 things you don't do is you don't take it light and you don't play boxing. I'm going to pause and I'm going to play this clip for you. And I don't want you guys to really, really trip because this really happened.
Get back to work.
This really happened. So Ryan Garcia had some things going on, and they are not just the typical conversation that you have on a daily basis. This is another level. Okay, so hopefully I pulled the right clip.
There'll be ever abundance, and this is why what you're doing right now is so important, my friend.
Well,
So
this whole
important.
life is multidimensional. You're in a plane of multi parallel universes, and we've already done this. We're just doing it again. This one might be the finale. I don't know. It's really complicated to the point that I'm like, sometimes it's even hard for me to wrap my head around it. So basically we already been here. We're just learning ourselves again. Like it's been passed down. Like it's really hard to really grasp. Like you really need to lock in when I'm talking to you about this, because this will really shift your whole understanding on what life in the in universe and perils and who's Jesus and how it continues and continues and continues and continues and it never stops. It's always going to happen. But anyways, we're going to get to live on heaven. Thank God forever. Let's go, baby. New heaven, new earth. This is what God meant. New heaven, new earth. This is
Thank
the
you, Ryan.
time, and it's happening. We're all gonna live in eternity. Let's go. But you just gotta accept Jesus Christ in your heart, and it's over. We're here. We're here, and we're still gonna have fun things, and things are still gonna be, having a good time. But it's gonna be pure. You understand?
Yeah, people think coming to this realization, Ryan, that you came to is the end of the damn world, but it's not. You still gonna live. You still could box. You still can do what you do. You just got to know the truth and elevate your consciousness. You know what I'm saying? It's a conscious battle. You feel me? It's a battle for your mind. You know what I'm saying?
Or make Phil co-host. Anyone who's cool.
Okay, co-host. Why do you think his followers were willing to die for the cause? Willing to go against every governing body. Why do you think that? Because when you are with somebody and you've seen the stuff that we've seen, they're going to stand behind me no matter what. What? I spoke with Prime Bibi. Bibi Netanyahu wants to meet me. I'm going to go over there and meet him. And I'm going to call for peace.
This gets real, guys.
You know that when you step foot in Israel, they can kill you like they killed Rachel.
No, but we're good. Everybody's good over there. They know me. I know them. And
Israel to stop the settlements, and they flattened her and killed her, and then they did a pancake
yeah,
party
but
and
no, but
dance.
they
So,
personally
like, my
invited
friend,
me
if you
though.
go to Israel and you ask for peace, you're gonna die. Like, you're
We'll
crazy.
see.
So there's a lot happening and it's a lot to unpack. But basically, Ryan's want to go over to Israel and try to create peace after he's really telling people a lot of things that he's seen behind the scenes. So I won't get into it because that's not my cup of tea. And that is not the area that I'm trying to get you guys to focus on. But the fact of the matter is, Ryan's gotten in a position where he's visually seen and was exposed to some things that he felt like he has the right to tell people about because it bothered him to a point where he wanted to excoriate the situation and bring it front and center. And people were saying that he was crazy, but the fact of the matter is this: he's putting his life on the line, as you saw the young man warning him that this is real. And when you become a big figure, a lot of things happen to you that never happened to you before. A lot of opportunities will come in front of you. And as I tell you, young individuals who are in the sport of boxing, you think it's about putting on boxing gloves and getting in the ring because that guy rise to the top of the sport and then he gets to the top and fights someone like Oscar De La Hoya and you just watch him unravel because things open up, the gates open up to the things that are actually in the sport that happen at the top of the sport. And when you get there, no one tells you how bright the lights get. And the lights get so bright because there's always cameras on you. There's always opportunity. There's always things that you got access to that you never had access to. Mountains of money, mountains of pleasure. We call it Sodom and Gomorrah when you read it in the Bible. And that becomes your reality now. Now you've earned the status to be in the highest levels of temptation in every single area of your life. And not everybody understands what that feels like. You've only dreamed about having success and being popular. And one of our jobs over at Jab Juice Star Power is that we help build the brand up. But we also have to coach you on what's coming. Because when you get to that level, and you don't know how to deal with that, it will eat you alive. You've seen it with people like AB. You've seen it just eat people up and chew them out. And you don't know the details, but all you know is the outcome, that people who used to be on top like an hour ago have crashed and hit rock bottom and are struggling to just stay in the game on some level. Name don't mean a lot, carries very little value as far as the upper echelon of athletes, the people who are getting the opportunity to fight in Saudi on the main event card, not undercard, but on the main event card. When you're climbing boxing, here's what you feel. You feel like you're somewhere until you get to the top 10. And then you realize you're in the bottom of the top 10. And how do you get there? Because all you are there to do is circulate the sport. And if you're not a dynamo and you don't have a big following and you don't have a lot of charisma, you're going to be set up. This is the way the game is set up, because I've been there and I know what it's about. I know the politics of it, and I know how they're going to utilize you climbing into the top 10 so that they can just pluck you off the bench. You're the sixth man. Nobody who's the sixth man is going to get the MVP of the finals. The guy who's the sixth man is there to pick up the trash for the other guys who are on the starting lineup when they slacking off and they need to get pulled to the bench. You get to go in and pick up the trash, do the dirty work, get your hands dirty. You're never to be there to be glorified. And that's the exact same way that happens when you crack into the top 10, unless your name is Michael Tyson, unless your name is a Muhammad Ali, unless your name was or Sugar Ray Leonard. You see what I'm saying? Like, this thing already has been painted. When Oscar De La Hoya came out of the Olympics as a golden boy, golden with status because he won the gold medal. Bob Arum already knew exactly how to build this kid. This kid has a ton of women following in the Mexican community. We already have his whole market. If you don't have a market, you don't matter. If you don't have a market, you're going to be the huckleberry. The game is going to get you in a position where you think you're about to rise to the top, and then they're going to yank the legs from under you. And that's all sport. But when it's boxing, it's so prevalent because you're one on one and you think that it's opportunity. But the thing is, the only people that win titles are the people connected to Mount Olympus, as I told you guys before. You can't get up here. You can't get here. You're not blood. You are not connected to Mount Rushmore. The only people that wear straps outside of some lightning bolt hitting you in a bottle, the only people that have been on Mount Olympus have been tied to the lineages of boxing. Boxing also has an Illuminati. Boxing also has a fraternity. There's rules, but you don't know them, and you will never know them unless you get to put the crown on. And the reason why boxing is this way is because it's an anarchy. It's the exact same thing as government. Nobody knows. You just went to the gym, put on gloves, put a mouthpiece in, and thought you could be the champ. But you didn't get the right people around you. Your coach, the only thing he's done is fought a few golden gloves when he was a kid. He don't understand what happens in pro boxing. He just understands, I used to box, I know how to get you there. There's a video that was done and shot by my team that will tell you exactly who needs to be in your camp, down to the hairdresser. Type replay. We're going to pick 5 people to see this. but you have to be inside of the sport, and it has to be on your timeline. And I can guarantee you, the minute you watch this thing, your ass will wake up and you'll realize what's real and what's not real. And if you don't have these people, you have no chance in boxing. I don't give a damn how many miles you run. This game is designed. It's not set up. It's designed the same way the presidency is. You are the only ones that don't know who's going to be president, but they do before the elections even happen. Everything's designed. Okay, so you just got to play your position and understand, get people around you that understand what's going on. This is the reason why lineages happen. This is the reason why there are titles at the top. This is the reason why you can't just break into boxing. Why do you think there are not a lot of strange people at the top? If it was all about just fighting, why aren't the best fighters in the world just all at the top? You know somebody that came out of the amateurs that was an absolute dynamo. Tell me why they not world champion. If it's not designed. So I just want to be able to shed a little light on you and listen to Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou go back and forth at the press conference just a few hours ago. This is exactly what's happening in boxing. The dichotomy is popping off. And this is what Francis had to say to Tyson Fury, who was popping off in the audience.
More over Tyson because I had the first one over him. I'm intending to have the second one, and he's been bitching about it, which is true.
I just hope I'm not in the middle of these two if they start going at it, let me tell you.
You're gonna sleep in the octagon again, and I'm gonna wipe the ring with your ass again. You wipe the ring with your ass. There was the blood in the ring. It's taken in your pants. What is that?
It's really heated.
There's so much happening in the sport of boxing, and Saudi Arabia is getting their foot in it. They basically moved Vegas to the side. This is one of the reasons I said, when you all think that something is raining in boxing, all of a sudden something happens. And what happens now is the Saudi Arabian culture. Because see, they have a culture, and their culture is about winning, fighting to get what they want, and doing it in a particular way. They're doing it in $1 million Bentleys. They're showing you how kings live and how kings dominate. And they've grabbed Vegas by the neck, because Vegas is just a town. Saudi Arabia is not just a town. No matter how much money Vegas can accrue, Saudi Arabia is an entirely different animal. And they're proving it because they've taken it right out of Vegas. They've taken boxing right out of Vegas. They just had PFL, Bellator, Collision just a week and a half ago. They take what they want. And thanks to the pandemic, they got an opportunity to put their hooks in it. And now what you're watching is the unveiling of the new powers in boxing. Ryan Garcia was right. I wanted to fight in Vegas. I mean, he wanted to fight in Vegas, but Vegas has no power now. The power is over there. They're keeping boxing going. They're bringing the biggest fights. They're doing it back to back. They use the model of the UFC. The fights you want to see in all the fucking time. This is the new power in boxing. The Barclays Center didn't even get a run. That goes to show you how powerful this game is and how much the power shifts. The power just shifts like overnight. You didn't even know it was happening. The only thing you know is in golf, it happened. Boom, with Liv taking all of the best golfers on their tournament, and now the fighters. What do you think power is shifting back to, or shifting to? See, power is all about leverage, not just money. But if they get the fighters, they get their fighters fighting, everybody starts to know their fighters. Opportunity, the biggest fights are in Saudi, so everybody's getting passports going to Saudi. Dubai, they doing all of the fancy, taking our people from over here off of this land and putting them over there, showering them with all of this glamour. And what do you think the byproduct of is that? That compounding. The compounding is the slow multiplication of what happens long term after this starts happening. See, it's just like getting a credit card. You use it, you love enjoying it, but then you start getting bills and you spent that card up and you don't know what to do. And then the interest starts. We've all done it. Interest starts, and then it's more than you can handle. And then you realize I got out of control. And that's exactly what's popping off right now. Soon it's going to be out of control. You're going to have never realized what was actually happening, but a dichotomy is happening, and it's happening right in front of you. But all you want to do is see fights. Let me know exactly where you're watching from. Drop it down in the comment box. I see some people dropping some stuff. Special shouts out to you, my people. It's good to see you. Special shouts. I can't see. What's up? Salute to you, my man. What's good? Everybody, stay tuned tomorrow. What we're going to do is get directly into it. We're going to show some of you guys out here in the influencer world who are trying to build your personal brands. We're going to show you some people that know how to do this on an entirely different level. My man, stay tuned to think bigger, because all of you out here, you got a mind. The only thing you're not doing is challenging it. And when you watch this page, this channel, Master Boxing, and my podcast, Think Bigger, make sure you subscribe. iTunes, Think Bigger with Eric A. Bradley. I'm going to expand your mind. And I'm not going to let you think on an average level. When you watch me, you've been with the best. And I'm going to make sure that your mind gets open. And I'm going to plug it and stuff it full of stuff. The knowledge, the power, teach you how to get leverage in your life. So come with a pacifier, because it's about to go down with Think Bigger. That's all I got. I hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast. My apologies once again for putting up that Broner part. That was a lot, but I will upload it up into the subscriber hub over in Instagram. So if you're not following on Instagram, or if you are, jump into that subscriber hub and you will get your mouthful. It's going down up there. So subscribe over there, or even over on Facebook. But that's all I got. Be blessed at God's speed. We're making the game of boxing a lot clearer for you trainers and fighters who are trying to take this game and make it your own. There's a way, and there's a path, and there's a Mount Olympus that you got to be on in order for that to happen. You can't dream your way to the top, but you can use this map that we got. That's all I got. Continue to follow for more, and I'll see you soon in the winner's circle. Peace.